Mortal Kombat figures are probably one of the biggest cornerstones of figure content I make on this channel. I absolutely love Mortal Kombat figures. Fun fact, if you haven't seen some of my older videos about Mortal Kombat figures, McFarlane Mortal Kombat figures are the figures that got me into McFarlane Toys. So I basically have to attribute that line for everything for hooking me on McFarlane figures overall. Today, we're looking at one of my favorite new characters from the NRS era of Mortal Kombat, now in figure form, that being McFarlane Toys Kotal Kahn. So before we go ahead and take a closer look up at the figure, don't forget to go ahead and hit the like button if you like what you see. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. Go ahead and follow me over on TikTok for shorter form figure content. Hit Instagram as well for photos of things I have, things I get, and when I get them. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a closer look at Kotal Kahn. Okay, here is a closer look at Kotal Kahn in his full glory. And as per usual with McFarlane figures, the detailing all over this guy is absolutely exceptional. It's just fantastic. It looks great. Just like every other typical McFarlane figure, they always come out looking great in terms of their sculpt work. And even the face on this one, I know he struggles with faces sometimes, but this Kotal Kahn face is coming out on top. It can get a little shadowed by the wonderful looking helmet, but at the same time, look at the detail going in here into the helmet and on the feathers on the back. It's absolutely amazing, down to some muscle definition going on to the tattoos. He's got little pecs, peekaboo, to the gauntlets on his arms, the belt. Everything about this guy looks absolutely incredible. I mean, overall, he's not bad. He is basically your standard McFarlane Toys fare. It's just, this is a character that, besides maybe in the MKX toy line from when the game came out, we haven't really seen a figure of before, so I really like the choice, and I really like getting to add Kotal into the collection. And in terms of accessories here, all he really has is his big, beautiful sword that featured in MK11, which looks really nice, but can kind of get a little awkward in some poses. I just feel like it doesn't look right for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but it does look cool if you can get it in the right spot. And he also only comes with the typical McFarlane little Mortal Kombat foot stand. That's probably my biggest problem with the figure, because as per usual, McFarlane is not providing enough alternate accessories for these figures, especially when you compare it to other lines kind of the same scale and price point that are happening now. Compare it to Marvel Legends, where almost every single character at least gets alternate hands. Some of them will get alternate heads. They'll get power blast effects. Compare it even to the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, which I have reviewed New Eternia, He-Man, and Skeletor, so go check that out. They all at least come with 2 sets of alternate hands, and usually the weapons that associate with the figure. So there is no reason for McFarlane to not be including at least alternate hands, because I hate having characters who have these weird open hands when you could very easily provide them with an alternate fist as well. So with that off of my chest, that's what we've got. But Kotal Kahn, nonetheless, looks great. Let's go ahead and take a look at articulation real quick. So up here on the head, there is the typical double ball joining type system. Unfortunately, you cannot swivel it much more than that. It is able to go all the way around, but you would have to remove the feathers, which will be a little bit of a pain. Upper torso here, they've got, the typical McFarlane stuff. I guess it's more moving the waist, but you can also twist that upper torso ever so slightly. The arms do go all the way around, slightly hindered by the shoulder pad, but it moves out of the way enough, it's soft enough. They go up, they swivel, but do get restricted by this shoulder blade thing here, or panel thing there. They go forward a lot farther. They have the typical double elbows of McFarlane. The cuts are a little weird, but they're not as bad as like Harley Quinn. The biggest problem with articulation here is the hands, because the hands do swivel and they do have the typical McFarlane hinge ball joint, whatever you call that, in there. But due to the nature of these gauntlets, you cannot actually move them very far. Like usually with sword characters, I like to point their hand down so that it's kind of at an angle like this, so that he can stand with it at his side, pointing it at the ground. But you are not able to get that with Kotal Kahn. His legs do go forward that much, and they go backwards that much. They have the double joint at the knee, which is a little tight. They spread that far. The pseudo swiveling a little bit right there, and then the ankle as well as usual, it swivels there, up, down, all the way around, that sort of thing. Plus they have the toe bend. So Kotal Kahn is posable just like all the other McFarlane figures. It's nothing crazy, but is still slightly limiting, which is another one of my biggest complaints with McFarlane, is there are lots of articulation points on all these figures, just often they can't really get to those spots. So let's go ahead and do a quick comparison. Here's what he looks like with Scorpion from McFarlane Toys, and there he is with Scorpion from Storm Collectibles. You can see the height difference actually isn't too drastic between the McFarlane and Storm figures, but where you're really getting the difference is in the actual design aesthetic. And there we go, with McFarlane Toys Shao Kahn, and with big boy himself, Storm Collectibles Shao Kahn. Height difference here is a little more drastic, but you can still see that the McFarlane Shao Kahn is towering over Kotal Kahn, which I can't remember if that's accurate or not. I would have to go and check the game files, but I don't remember Shao Kahn being that much bigger than Kotal Kahn. I remember Kotal being also kind of a big dude. All right, that's it for a closer look at Kotal Kahn. Let's go ahead back up to my face to get a final thoughts. So what are my final thoughts on Kotal Kahn? Well, he is kind of just your standard McFarlane fare. I don't think there's anything crazy special about Kotal Kahn besides the fact he's a character that doesn't get made much in terms of actual figures. We're going to see lots of Scorpions, we're going to see lots of Sub-Zeros, we're going to see lots of all the ninjas, all that kind of stuff, Liu Kang, Shao Kahn, all those kinds of things. Kotal Kahn, being a relatively new character to the Mortal Kombat universe, is someone we haven't seen much. And I am excited that McFarlane did make the choice to make Kotal Kahn, because I do think he looks great and he is going to stand in well on a shelf with all the other McFarlane Mortal Kombat figures. But in terms of actual articulation and sculpting and paintwork, all that stuff, he is just a standard McFarlane figure. Nothing too crazy. But I do love that we finally have a Kotal Kahn. I just really hope this isn't the last Mortal Kombat figure we get from McFarlane. With all that said, do you have Kotal Kahn? If you do, go ahead and let me know what you think of him down below. If you don't, let me know, do you want to pick this guy up and add him to your collection? If so, I got mine at GameStop, so he should be popping up in stores and on various internet retailers quite soon for those of you who do still need to get Kotal Kahn. With all that said, guys, thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it, and I'll see y'all later. It goes up, down, all the way around. Can I say hi? Okay. You guys really want to be in the review, huh? Yeah. Say hi.
subscribe to YouTube. Oh, I'm joking. Okay, come here.